CSO conference organized by Malaysia in 2005. So we can see that ASEAN, which is not a great advocate for democracy, because a lot of these ASEAN countries just emerged out of military dictatorships, have also been now committed to promoting civil society organizations and think tanks, unlike here in South Asia. In this book, I was very fortunate to get a Nepali perspective from a very young and dynamic Nepali journalist, Gopal Khanal, who is here this evening. And he wrote a paper on SAFMA, which is a South Asian Free Media Association. And it has chapter offices all over the South Asian region. It has a very good network of journalists. And SAFMA, as a robust organization of the media personalities of this region, has also been trying to promote the same values of South Asian cooperation and South Asian togetherness and a region without borders. We also have a paper, an excellent paper by Ranjan Roy of the Times of India, who wrote a paper on Aman Ki Asha initiative by the Times of India and the Jung group of newspapers of Pakistan. It's a very unique initiative by two of the most prominent newspapers of India and Pakistan. And Ranjan writes in his paper, suddenly one morning, the people of Pakistan woke up and found that India was a friend. And the readers in Times of India suddenly found one morning that Pakistan is a great friend of India. So this is what a churning point and a very noble initiative that the Times of India and the Jung Group are trying to do. Of course, the government has to follow, the state has to follow. We from the track 2 level can only try and endeavor for a more cooperative South Asia. We also have a paper by Mr. M.S. Hasrat from Afghanistan. He's from the Afghan Human Rights Commission, who wrote a paper on the civil society activities in Afghanistan. Of course, it is very nascent stage. Afghanistan, because of its long decades of conflict and instability, the civil society and think tanks are in a nascent stage, but still he has written a paper on that. I'll be failing in my duty if I do not acknowledge the help I received from Professor Mohan Loni, who was a commentator in one of the papers, and he's also here this evening. I was also indebted to Mr. Kumar Shrestha for helping me to edit this book, and I'm sure this book will be one of its kind. It will help in the greater understanding of the SAARC region and what the SAARC region, both the track 1 and the track 2, can understand from the European Union and from the ASEAN perspective. I hope you will read the book despite your busy schedules, and I hope you will appreciate this very modest undertaking on the part of the 3 organizations, RCSS, CSAS, and the GPAC, which is based in the Netherlands. With these words, may I request the former Foreign Secretary to kindly launch the book. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Nichalji. Distinguished colleagues from RCSS, Honorable former Minister, former ambassadors, professors, and distinguished guests. I want to first of all thank Nichalji for inviting me to be part of this book launch. And I want to congratulate the editors, first of all, Nichalji and Kumarji, as well as the writers and contributors of this book. And also congratulate RCSS and CSS for coming out with this good publication. I think the central message thrust of this publication is that there has to be connectivity between people. The message of the theme of the 17th SAARC Summit was exactly like this, building bridges. Of course, the leaders were committed to building bridges, but if you look at the declaration of the 17th SAARC Summit, I'm afraid to say there's very little about building bridges. I hope it is not suspension bridge though. There is only one paragraph on people-to-people connectivity about the recognition of mutual standards or degree and etc. So, but I think people-to-people connectivity I take it in a little bit broader perspective. In fact, if connectivity is the lifeblood of regional cooperation, I think people-to-people connectivity is the soul of regional integration. It should be the basis, it should be the essence of cooperation. Why do we cooperate with each other? To connect among ourselves so that our goods, our services, our people can connect to each other so we can collectively, mutually benefit from each other. Declarations or conventions, even institutions, which we have plenty, will not be enough to build bridges. Building bridges requires exchange among people. I think this is the message that has been thrust upon in this publication. And I really thank the distinguished contributors, and it's a very valuable work, I guess, on this field. Though the notion of cooperation in our region is changing. There is yet another paradigm shift in the sense that we have to start from declaration to actions. That thrust is there a little bit, I must say, but somehow implementation is lagging. But I think between India and Pakistan, that is where the main thrust of problem lies. There is some sign of thaw, which is very good in economic field. For example, the most favored nation treatment that the two countries have exchanged, given to each other. It's a very good sign. Recently, I hear that India has given, allowed Pakistanis to invest in that country. So this will be a big opportunity. But in order to win its future, of course, South Asia is one of the most happening places in the world. It's one of the important driving forces in Asia. That cannot happen without connecting our peoples together. Peoples means civil society, means everybody together. Of course, I don't have to define. When I was in the government, I was a little bit skeptical of the civil society, I should say. At that time, I thought civil society, though I invite their freedom and with their freedom, but I thought they are people who have less accountability, can speak their mind regardless of their implication, or even say ambitious thing which cannot be implemented, unrealistic thing. But now I am back in track to myself. So I am the other way around. I am skeptical of the government. These are the people who prepare pious declarations which they cannot implement. They create institutions which they cannot run. So this is the paradox of our society. But of course, there are both sides to it. But it's very important that the track 2, the civil society, enlivens itself with lively debate. It enriches our thinking. I just heard alternative thinking. That's very important. What is required is out-of-box solutions. We have to move beyond the box. For example, there is this thing called Aman Ki Asa, which was just mentioned. Aman Ki Asa, we are only talking about peace. At least we are talking about peace. But I hope there should be an opportunity when we should be talking about Samriddhi Ko Asa, more beyond peace, when we can bring each other prosperity. In South Asia, we have, like Nichalji just mentioned, just started to consult from the government sector. I'm a little bit also speaking on behalf of government, it looks like. But there is just a new development here. But in other regions, civil society has been a very active partner. I think South Asia has just started to develop this consultative process with civil society. The creation of the South Asian Forum, which in itself is a good development. I hope it will not be yet another institution which makes lots of declarations which it cannot implement. But there is this opportunity in which private sector and civil society and non-government people can represent and talk. But I think in South Asia, we need to create this mandatory consultation with civil society, which we don't have. In other forums, for example, the UN, after long years, when I was ambassador, there is this process called multi-stakeholder approach. Regional cooperation, we cannot give only the governments the stake to it. There are too many stakeholders in civil society and among people. They must be consulted at all times. The voices should be there. Of course, with or without accountability. Of course, that is a question whether civil society will have equal accountability as the governments have. What is required in our region is we have to break barriers. Breaking barriers on trade, breaking barriers on movement of people, breaking barriers on investment, breaking barriers on energy market, and most importantly, connectivity, breaking barriers on border transport, breaking barriers on road, rail, air transport. We still have to go to another region to go from here to, say, to Maldives. And I'm afraid to say, I was talking in these words when I was Foreign Secretary, and I'm afraid I have to say these words again. This is a pity state of our cooperation. Nonetheless, they are very important issues. So, lastly, I would like to say, building a vibrant South Asian community, which is what we aspire for, we look forward to, is not possible without creating a vibrant debating society, a vibrant thinking society, a vibrant society that shares its experiences and broadens its opportunities. I think this is what the thrust of this book is. Once again, I congratulate Nishchalji and all the colleagues who are associated with this, and thank you for giving me this opportunity to learn this book. Thank you very much.
Good evening. On behalf of the RCSS and GPAC, I'd like to propose a vote of thanks. First, I'd like to thank Mr. Madhuraman Acharya, Nepal's former Foreign Secretary, for accepting our invitation to be the chief guest and in our book launching event. Thank you so very much for your valuable time as well as the thought-provoking ideas you presented. As a token of appreciation, we'd like to present a small memento to Mr. Acharya. So I'd like to invite one of our senior and very active GPAC RSG member, Professor Muniz Ahmad from Pakistan. Thank you, Professor. Next, I'd like to thank our co-host, Mr. Pandey, Director of Center for South Asian Studies, as well as a regional International Research Committee member of RCSS. He's also co-editor of the book along with Mr. Kumar. RCSS is actually a regional organization. As a regional organization, we like to have our events and all activities spread across South Asia. Even though we are based in Kathmandu, we tend to have more events in Colombo, but we realized recently we have more events now in Nepal due to several reasons. Like, this is a very beautiful place, very friendly people, very easy getting things done. But one of the most important reasons is actually our reliable partner, Mr. Nishchal Pandey. Thank you, Nishchal, for all your continuous support and encouragement. And also, finally, I'd like to thank our RSG members who came from different countries of South Asia, and all of you, the most important people, the VIPs, who are very busy people. So thank you very much for coming and sharing your time with us and have this small event successfully held. So thank you very much. And also I request all of you to stay. I know a lot of you are already friends of RCSS, but I also like to request you to be in touch with us and advise and assist us in the future events also. So thank you very much again for all of you. I also take this opportunity to invite you for a cocktail just after this event. And also don't forget to collect your copy of your book. Sunita especially mentioned me to remind you. So thank you very much and enjoy your evening. Good night.
So, Sonali, nice to see you again. Nice weather, teacher.